trying to print it. Capitalism is being trashed at every turn. Have you noticed, or is it just me, that we seem to be marching down the road to socialism? Oh no, it's socialism! Stop, stop, stop! Scary communism. Comrades, today I bring you good news from the Western Front. Our fearless leader of the American swine say their country will never recover if the stimulus doesn't pass quickly. Ho, 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 ho. How right he is. But comrades, you must not listen to the foolish propaganda from the pigs who say that their leader Obama is simply fear-mongering. Those pigs say that others accuse President Bush of doing the same thing with that old terrorism thing. But what evidence was there of terrorism? Okay, sure, a few bombings, some videotapes, maybe a hole in Manhattan. Please, that could have been anything. You and I both know how desperate the situation is for the Americans. Yes, and thankfully, our good friend Comrade Pelosi does as well.
Every month that we do not have an economic recovery package, 500 million Americans lose their jobs. I don't think we can go fast enough to stop that. The President asked for action swift and bold. That is what we are doing.
500 million people will lose their job every month. Yes, Comrade Pelosi, yes, we can. Now, some pigs will say $7.6 billion for rural advancement for the communities, $1.7 billion for the national park system, $87 million for a polar ice-breaking ship, $50 million for the National Endowment for the Arts. That's not going to save the country. But of course they would say that. What do they know about the struggle of the noble worker? We, comrades, must keep up the fight. We must show them the way. Stay strong, comrades. Victory is finally near. Stop. You know, yesterday I did a segment like this, and the Drudge Report, you know, oh, hey, look, you're calling communism. You know what? Look, you want to be a socialist? Be a socialist. That's fine. You want to be a communist? Be a communist. Why are we hiding this? Why is it we're not having the conversation now about universal health care? Let's have that conversation, not the conversation of quick. Our country will never recover if we don't pass all of this bullcrap, which we're still printing out, unless we act now. Is socialism taking over our country? It has for our inner cities for a long time. In Los Angeles is Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. He's the president and founder of Bond Action, a cultural action organization. Reverend, Philadelphia.
Yes,
I lived in Philadelphia.
I love that Comrade update, by the way.
Thank you very much. Oh, a lot of people love it, and then again, some don't.
Yeah.
I lived in Philadelphia for a while, and it's a great city, a really, truly great city. But it is a city that has enslaved itself with socialism and corruption like I haven't seen. Why is it? Why is it, sir, that some of our Washington, D.C., Detroit, Philadelphia, our biggest cities are enslaving themselves?
Well, most of the inner cities are run by black liberal Democrats. The mayor, for the most part, are black. The police chiefs are black. City council men and women are black. And yet, the cities are out of control because
okay, wait,
one of the big
hold it, you're not implying that it's a black thing, are you?
Well, it's a liberal Democrat thing. But for the most part, the inner cities are now controlled by the black liberal Democratic politicians.
Okay.
And one of the big mistakes that black Americans made was to elect politicians, especially liberal politicians, thinking that it was going to enhance their lives. They thought that if they had black Democrats in control of the city, somehow or another, the black life would get better. They were wrong by that, in that you have abortion out of control, Glenn. Since the early 70s, over 15 million black babies have been aborted. 70% of parent parenthood centers are in the inner cities. Black-on-black crime out of control. 70% of black babies born out of wedlock nationwide. And in the state of Indiana, 80% of black babies are born out of wedlock. And it is because of socialism. Most black Americans, not all, but most black Americans have a socialist mentality. That's why they elected Barack Obama as their president, because he is the first black liberal socialist Democrat, and they think that somehow or another their lives are going to get better by electing him.
You know, Reverend, I tell you, you know, I pointed out all of the Marxist tendencies of President Obama when he was just running, and nobody really seemed to care. People dismissed it. Now people are going to come out of the woodwork saying, oh, you look at what you're saying about... Look, it is... If that's what you are, then make the point. We are being lulled into this, and it's all being denied. I mean, you know, as a conservative, you don't have problems coming out and saying, I think we should have smaller government. Why is it that...
Yeah, that's right.
Why is it that so many progressives or socialists have a problem saying, I'm a socialist. I believe in gigantic government.
They know that it doesn't work, and that's why they won't admit it. I have to tell you, Glenn, the electing of Barack Obama was about black racism and white guilt. White Americans want to make up for past history, slavery, and they have been blamed for what is happening today. And they think by electing a black socialist liberal, somehow or another, black Americans are going to overcome their racism.
No.
But the only thing that's going to change their racism is that black folks have to forgive. They have to drop their anger. My concern, we have 10 reasons to fear Barack Obama's socialist agenda. Barack Obama Nation, and if people go to our website, they can read some of them.
Okay, Reverend, I appreciate your time. I mean, we're still printing this stupid. We're just printing this stupid stimulus package. Barack Obama said today, can we put this back up on the website? Reverend, thank you very much. Put the full screen up here of Barack Obama, what he said in the Washington Post op-ed today. He said, if nothing is done, this recession may linger for years. Our economy will lose 5 million more jobs. Unemployment will approach double digits. Our nation will sink deeper into crisis. At some point, we may not be able to reverse. So he's saying that we're not going to be able to reverse it unless we do this stimulus package here. And by the way, it's still printing over here. This is the spending bill that they're calling a stimulus package. As I look at this bill, the National Review did a great outline of some of the outrages in this. Just ask yourself, America, will we survive and can we recover if we don't spend $50 million for the National Endowment of the Arts? If we don't spend $4 billion for job training programs, including $1.2 billion to provide youth summer jobs. By the way, youth, according to this, is defined as anybody up at the age of 24. How about, will we survive if we don't spend $650 million for digital TV coupons? Will we survive as a nation if we don't spend $150 million for the Smithsonian, $34 million to renovate the Department of Congress headquarters, $500 million for improvement projects like the National Institute of Health Facilities, $44 million for repairs to the Department of Agriculture headquarters, $350 million for Agriculture Department computers? Listen to this one. You tell me, will we survive as a nation? Could we ever recover if we don't spend $88 million to help move the public health service into a new building? What? For moving trucks, $88 million, $448 million for new Homeland Security Department headquarters, $600 million to convert federal auto fleet to hybrids. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. This is what we can't. Let me tell you something. We can't survive in this country with a stimulus package like this. When Barack Obama puts all of his chips down on the table, I mean, think of this. This is a guy who's coming in his first 2 weeks, he's got all of these problems, and then he says, America, if you don't pass this, if you don't allow me to spend $1 trillion on all of these things, then we're not going to survive. Wow, Mr. President, I thought George Bush was engaging in fear-mongering. That's incredible.